Have you ever wondered what it would take to become a millionaire? Well, I asked myself the same question many years ago, and today I am a millionaire, and I did this by working a 9 to 5 without a side hustle. And so in this video, I will share 5 lessons that I learned in this journey, and at the end, I will share the specific strategy that I apply to make all of this happen. So lesson number 1 is that you can become a millionaire without actually earning $1 million in a single year. Researching these numbers and this topic, I found that the number of people that earn over $1 million a year is less than 1%. Keep in mind that earning $1 million a year doesn't automatically make you a net worth millionaire, because you can easily spend more than you can make regardless of how much money you make. If you're new to finance, a net worth millionaire is someone whose net worth is over $1 million. Your net worth is equal to your assets minus your liabilities. Assets are things like rental properties or maybe stock portfolios or your 401k. Liabilities are things like debt, car payments, or any debt that you may have. So let's say your 401k and your stocks add up to $1 million and your debt is $300,000. Well, your net worth would be $700,000 in that case. I don't want to discourage you from not earning $1 million one day. I am simply saying that you don't need to earn that much to become a net worth millionaire. And keep in mind that as your salary, especially in the 1%, goes up, so do your responsibilities. Despite what you may think of CEOs or high-level executives, they just don't leave work because they left work, right? They're constantly working 24 hours, 7 days a week. Here's the takeaway. Once I understood that becoming a millionaire was not about hitting a magic salary number, the next question became obvious. If it is not income, then what actually builds wealth? And that's when I learned that the answer was investing. Lesson number 2, you can become a millionaire by investing, but not in the way you think. See, we are bombarded with channels and people talking about how rich and how easy it is to become rich. I mean, in fact, I am kind of doing that right now, right? But in all seriousness, there are a small percentage of people who become millionaires in their 20s or even 30s, but most of us will not. And that could sound discouraging, and you have 2 options. You can become a millionaire as fast as you can, or you can say, well, that's not fair, and then you can stay poor. That's your choice. The harsh reality of building wealth is that it takes time and discipline. To build wealth, most of us will have to invest over a long period of time, i.e. 20 to 30 years. I mean, I became a millionaire after aggressively investing for over 15 years. I think I was 38 or maybe 40 when I did. What I'm saying is that investing can make you a millionaire, but just knowing that you need to invest is simply not enough to become one. You have to understand what really makes investing powerful. Now, to explain this further, let's jump to lesson 3. Time and compounding interest are your best friends. Let's look at an example. Say you invested $1,000 and your rate of return, that is the money you make on that money, was 8%. Now, historically, that is the average return of the S&P 500. And this can be easily achieved by investing in something like an S&P 500 index fund. After 1 year, your $1,000 would be $1,166, and after 20 years, it would be over $2,000. And at year 30, it would have grown to over $10,000. But now let's say you not only invest that initial $1,000, but you also invest an additional $500 each month. Here's what happens after 20 years. You would have, or the money would have grown to $300,000, and it would take 20 years to get there. But look what happens at year 30. Your money grows to over $750,000. In other words, it took 20 years to get to 300,000, but only 10 more to get to over $750,000. That is more than double your money. And that is the power of compounding interest and time. The more time and the more money you invest, the harder that money works for you. And it can get to a point where your money is working a lot harder than you do. And seeing those numbers made me realize something even deeper. The math works, but only if you do. In other words, compounding only rewards consistency and time. And that's where discipline becomes everything. Lesson number 4, discipline beats intelligence. Look, I am not dumb, but I am also know that I am not the most intelligent person you'll ever meet. I promise you that. But building wealth and making a lot of money has very little to do with intelligence. I mean, you have to have a little bit of critical thinking, a little bit of intelligence, but you don't need to be Elon Musk to make a lot of money or to become very wealthy. Many people think that they need to be financial geniuses to become rich. And so they research, they watch a million videos, they read all the books, and they take no action. That is the wrong thing to do. You don't need intelligence as much as you need consistency and discipline. See, when I first started investing, I really had no idea what I was doing. In fact, I picked my 401k funds based on how the name sounded. In fact, one of my investments in Vanguard was Vanguard Prime Cap Fund Admiral. I was like, well, that sounds powerful. I mean, I promise you, I had no idea I was doing these kinds of things. And ironically, I made more money when I didn't know what I was doing than when I knew what I was doing. And I mean, even today, I met plenty of smart people who stay broke because they can't stay disciplined. And what truly helped me win was to automate my savings and investments so that I could invest consistently. And that helped me avoid lifestyle creep. Yeah, I didn't always reward myself whenever I made more money or worked overtime. And so if you think you need more knowledge to build wealth, you really have to think again, because in my experience, wealth does not come from making perfect decisions. It comes from making the right ones consistently over and over again. The next lesson is life-changing, and without understanding this, I am very confident that I will have never become a millionaire. Lesson number 5, the systems are more important than the amounts. When I first started investing, I thought wealth came from putting in big amounts of money, but what I learned over time is that the amounts matter far less than the system that you build around it. One of the issues that I ran earlier in my career was that I was spending everything that I was making. So I said to myself, is there any way that I can make less without actually making less? Well, no. And I mean, you wouldn't really want that. But I asked myself, is there a way I can trick my brain into thinking that we don't have enough? And I came up with the conclusion that you can artificially create this scenario by automating everything. You see, every time I got paid, a specific percentage automatically went into my 401k, my Roth IRA, and my employee stock purchase plan. I didn't have to think about it. That system is what really made me consistent and disciplined, even though I didn't have the discipline to do it. I mean, it takes some effort, right? Because you have to go into your accounts and actually automate things. But here's the thing, you can start with $100 a month or $1,000 a month. What matters is that your system makes saving and investing automatic, because once it's automated, you'll keep growing without needing discipline or constant reminders. I started investing $200 a month, and that particular fund grew to over $300,000 in 15 years. That's because I started with 200, then I kept adding, and that thing just blew up in 15 years. And that's the benefit of automation, is that you don't think about it. And you see less money in your bank account, so you unconsciously tend to spend less because you have no money. And here's the exact strategy that I used to make that happen. I automated everything. Every time I got paid, my money went to 3 places before I ever saw it: my 401k, 401k, my employee stock purchase plan because I was getting 10% discount, and then my Roth IRA. Whatever was left became my spending budget. And I did not rely on motivation or willpower to save. I just rely on systems. I treated wealth building like a bill that had to be paid, not a goal or hope to reach someday. It was a bill in my head. That single shift, paying myself first and making it automatic, is what built my $1 million portfolio.